Hello, Eddie B. Right, good. I was going to say good morning, that's a lie, it's good afternoon. 3:20 and it is Tuesday, because yesterday I tried to get a little bit of filming done. Ed tried to push us on as well, and it never got done. It was too, well, I was just too busy in the end. Garage is running, touch wood, it's running pretty good at the minute. There's 2 new guys starting on the 2nd of October, so obviously you'll get to meet them then. We're just sort of prepping things for those coming. Obviously got the lads use iPads, so that'll buy a couple of more iPads because we've ended up running out of them. We've also got to get all the workwear done, just paperwork end of it done, get them on the insurance, blah blah blah. So I'm on with that this week. And then we've also got the engine is back in the Disco Sport now, so you'll probably see that this afternoon when I get back. I'm just out going to pick a customer up at the minute who's left his M2 competition with us. So that's got air ride suspension, makes the car sit really nice. Actually, I wouldn't normally be a fan of air ride suspension, but it sits beautifully on that car. But they have like a modified strut top mount when they're using the air ride. I'm assuming it's just maybe to get the height down rather than having the big cumbersome thing that BMW use. Obviously the one that BMW uses is perfect, obviously very good quality as well, but I think if you use that you wouldn't get the car as low as you'd want it with the air ride. So it basically came in for a bit of a squeaking on the top. So then what we've done is we've put on the turn plates for the MOT lift, found that it's actually on the on those strut top mounts. I went to replace them, but then when we've looked, we didn't strip anything down luckily, so we had ordered 2 genuine ones. Then when the car came in, found out air ride, we found out that there is actually a rebuild kit for the strut top mounts they supply. So rather than buying the whole strut top mount, it's a big billet thing that goes on top of the airbag and the shocker. We actually only have to replace the bearing, so we'll just strip that down, pull that bearing out, and then put the new one in hopefully, and that'll stop any unwanted noises. What else have we had today? I think we've had 12 or 13 MOTs in a day. A lot of Amazon vans getting MOT'd, and what we have noticed on those new Amazon Sprinters, so the electric ones are horrendous on drive shaft boots, really heavy. So we're talking between like 16 and 25,000 mile. Those drive shaft boots are just in a million pieces. I don't know whether it's because they've got such a big turning circle on them, and obviously when they're getting the foot down, you get, obviously assuming all of the torque from zero. Maybe it's when that boot's on full lock it's ripping them off, I'm not sure, but a lot of them failing on that. I would say probably more than 50% of the electric vans are failing on the boot, just being shredded. Trying to think what else has happened today. Callum just put they're forward. So Callum just put the clutch in the Neps parcel van. Like I said before, I think Neps is probably featured in every single video episode that we've had. So maybe somebody could tell us it's different, but I'm pretty sure that they've featured in every episode. Carl just put a clutch in one of them this morning. That was a Peugeot Boxer, I believe. Same again. I mean, they're like an Amazon van. The amount of miles they do is unbelievable, and they probably don't get looked after by the drivers as much as they should. But on a maintenance point of view, they do get looked after. They're always coming in for oil top ups or repairs or service, or even just get them in quite regularly for a health check. Obviously the guy who owns the company doesn't want those vans breaking down, so he makes sure they get in pretty regular. I'm going to leave it there because I'm literally pulling up with this customer's business now to pick him up, take him back for his M2 until we get the parts, so he's still got a car to run around in. So I will be speaking to you later on. Cheers. Right, so following on from this morning, sorry, not this morning, this afternoon, when I was in the car, quick walk around of what we've got through today, and a couple of things happening tomorrow because it is 7:45 and we are starving. So, brand new Transit. This guy always buys top of the range Transits. There's a little bit of weight in the back, so he's opted for an air ride or an air suspension helper kit. I think we've done 2 of these kits previous for Clark's plumbing and drainage, so he knows what the score is with those. You literally add a little bit of air. I think if the van is open, we'll show you. I'm not sure if it's open or not. No, it's not. Let's have a look. So, has he put it there? Yeah. So there's your little pressure gauge, and there's your tyre valve there. So you just put a bit of air in there, and that'll lift the back suspension up. And when you want to take the air out, just use that cap. Done. So the more weight you put in the back, the more air you put in, obviously. There's a little gauge there, obviously you don't want to go anywhere near the red. So that is that one. This is a 2018, I believe, yeah, 2018 Range Rover. So fairly common problem on these is the NOx sensors. So this does require a NOx sensor. That'll get priced and authorised hopefully in the morning. This Ford Ranger was in for, what was this in for? MOT. It's failed on the front pads down to the metal, and they're obviously where they touched it's scored the inside of the disc, so it'll be nice to get them changed out at the same time. Hopefully that'll get authorised early in the morning, get that done for the customer. This Neps van, yet another Neps van. So I spoke this morning about one getting a clutch. This is actually a different van. So this one's getting a ball joint, which is there. So these are slightly different, these ball joints. So these actually screw into the upright. So that goes in there, if I can get it. So that just goes into there. It's got an endless amount of threads. So that's in there. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to back it off a bit because I'm not going to bother tightening that up. So so the guys in the morning know to definitely tighten it up. So ball joint. It's getting a set of front pads. It's had rear pads and a couple of bulbs, I think, and a service. This one. Big Daphne's in for tonight. This truck comes in every night just to keep it well, in good condition really. I think anything that gets left outside normally deteriorates. This is in for a battery drain, so Paul will have a look at that in the morning. I think it drains over a couple of days. Battery drains, they're the bane of my life. I hate that sort of fault because normally we get them, car starts perfect, doesn't drain the battery, but Paul's a sparky, so he'll have a look. What have we got here? Land Rover parts, obviously something coming in. Crate off the Ingenium engine, which has ended up on the floor. That's the old engine out of the Disco Sport here, and there's the brand new lump in there. So you can see brand new engine there. That's all fitted. New turbo. What else is new? I think there's a lot new on this, to be honest with you. So this needs a cradle in, and there's a brand new DPF there as well. So once the cradle's in, DPF on, get this all back on its wheels, get it boxed off. You've seen us the other day actually using the hydraulic press to press the drive shaft out. So is my brain is fried today. This little juke, so I'll quickly start this up. You might be able to hear it. So it's hard to start, and there's an awful rattling noise from inside the engine bay. So that is basically the timing chain. So the guy took it to another garage to basically have the oil changed, to hopefully, as if that was going to fix the noise. That was never going to fix the noise, unfortunately. So this is the little 4-cylinder petrol engine. I think we've seen this engine before on a video in a Dacia, Dacia, whatever you call them. So that's going to need a new timing chain, though that'll get done in the morning. So what Andy's going to do is spend some time on that Disco Sport, hopefully get that boxed off, hopefully about lunchtime, that'll be nice, and then that can go for an extended test drive, make sure there's no leaks, nothing like that. Then jump on this one after lunch, strip the timing chain out, it needs a service, a couple other bits and bobs, but nothing too major. Shall we have a look outside, Eddie B? We'll open the door, Ed. It's noisy. Right, so at the moment we have got on death row that needs a starter motor, but somehow we've rang up for a starter motor and it's a overnight order. I thought that would be a normal starter motor, but it's not. So that is coming, that was ordered today, but we missed the cut off, so it'll not be tomorrow, it'll be the day after. So that'll be getting done. I don't think it's a big job to do, but it was just waiting for the part, that's all. This failed this morning at MOT on a brake pipe. Carl stayed back, got that brake pipe done, and then it got retested, so that's ready to go. This BMW, it's lost a little kidney. This was in for MOT as well. It was bonnet catch. What else was it for? Loads of stuff anyway. So that isn't going to get MOT. The customer's actually going to sell that car the way it is. This one here, I've got that many Range Rovers in at the minute, I can't remember what this is for. This one, is it YY? No, so this one here was for, basically it was a problem on the TSOV valve. So a lot of the time we replace them valves, it's lots of carbon. TSOV valve basically goes in the back of the driver's side turbo. Lots of carbon build up, the valves end up sticking open or sticking closed, or both. This one, we've managed to do a couple of adaptations. The car was going straight into limp mode, now it's not going to limp mode at all. So we're going to advise the customer, drive it. If they're happy with that, keep it like that. If it does come back on, unfortunately, that will need a TSOV valve. This Q7, this was in today for, you can see, if you come around this side, suspension's right on its arse. There's absolutely no air in that suspension at all. There's a leak on the front, needs a compressor, because obviously the customer's been driving around with a leak, expecting that compressor to just keep picking that up, but it won't. In the end, them compressors will just give in. To be honest with you, I don't know what year the car is. It's got a private plate. The car's a little bit tired for us, and we stopped quoting at about £2.5 grand by the time we went through front to back. In the end, we just stopped adding to the price. We've just advised the customer, this just isn't a car for us to repair. Not because the job's too big, obviously we're taking engines out of cars, it's just, we believe it's not economical to repair. If the customer wants to get it done elsewhere, that's all right with us. RAC van, so we've seen that getting towed in, and somebody's asked what happened to the van. So even though it's under the mileage of what it should be, the time belt's actually snapped. All I've done is just pulled that timing case back. If I had the key, I would let you listen, but as soon as I started it, there was just zero compression. It was spinning over way too fast. I've pulled the timing case back, and I've literally just been able to pull that belt straight out. Obviously that belt's supposed to be one piece, and now it's just, it's like a belt you put around your waist. So that is going to need at least a cylinder head off, but we'll go to the RAC and we'll seek authorisation for that. But to be fair, on a 68 plate van, the miles got on it, I think, to be honest with you, that'll go to auction. They'll come, strip out all the tools that they need out the back, and I think they'll be replacing that with a new van, to be honest with you. You see a lot of them on eBay, a lot of people camp with those RAC vans, but unfortunately that one's like a static caravan, that's not a camper. This got picked up on the truck on Monday, yesterday, and I think it's going to be an easy fix, possible fuel filter, but don't hold us to that. That's just what I think it is by listening to it. And this ambulance, EUT, is the British Red Cross. and I think this one is, I've got to jog my memory because there's that many vans in here. This one is the EGR valve, another common problem. So the EGR valve, there's a bypass flap in there. Basically, it's about the size of a pound coin. Basically, that snaps in half, goes down there into the turbine of the turbo on the hot side, and it basically wedges those blades and mangles them. So you lose all the boost. A couple of common fault codes you get with those, I can't remember what they were. But they are really common. We've done at least 6 or 7 for that particular fault where this thing comes off, this little flap, and damages the turbo. This little Mini is in for an oil leak. It's smoking under the bonnet, so it must be quite a leak. I'm assuming that's just rolling off there and going onto the exhaust. What do we have over here? So just on the front there, got the Amazon Prime vans. So doing loads of MOTs at the moment on the Amazon vans, and that's the one I mentioned today, this morning, about so that's an electric one, about the drive shaft boot. That one I don't think has actually done the drive shaft boot, but I would say definitely over 50% of those vans are ruining the front drive shaft boots. Just really hard lock and loads of power off the electric motors is just tearing those boots up. That's ongoing. This one needs a gearbox. So it's actually somebody I know. So they've got the gearbox sorted. It's in the workshop, ready to go in. But that's quite a decent sized job, so we'll have to wait until we get some time in the diary for that one. That's the car that I thought the other one was, YY14. This one's in for MOT, and there's a leak from the back. Unfortunately, it's actually the pinion seal on the rear diff. So we'll have to strip that diff down, replace the seal. We'll probably replace the bearings while we're in there. You get a new crush tube, a new nut and everything. Build that back up, torque that how it should be. Obviously top the oil up, and then it'll get MOT'd. It also needs one tyre. One of the tyres right down to the canvas. And then I'm just going to cut through here, Ed. Another British Red Cross. So this was in for a service today. I think the rest of the van's actually fairly good. It's a damn sight cleaner than the one over there as well. So it was service, health check, and the only problem we had is the fuel filter that we got supplied off Renault was wrong. I don't know if it was wrongly boxed or what, but we basically just, the whole service is done apart from the fuel filter. We'll put the old one back on for now. Tomorrow morning when that comes from Renault, we'll get that new fuel filter fitted, and that can go back and start doing whatever ambulances do. I think, 2 seconds. So S-Class, the last two here we've got outside is S-Class. It's for a coolant change, possibly a brake fluid change. And this little A3, another common problem on the TFSI petrol models is that the injector seals leak. So what I've had a couple of times is the bolts that hold the fuel rail in, which hold the injectors in then, that bolt started to come loose. The fuel rails actually went on a bit of a funny angle. It's ended up obviously moving the injector over. The fuel's come out and it's actually like the pressurized like a cut in the side of it. So that's definitely all I've got for you on a Tired Tuesday. We'll get some footage during the day tomorrow, and me and Ed in about 15 minutes on a go for our tea. So thanks very much for watching on Tuesday night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Right, welcome to Wednesday. The Disco Sport is complete. All back together, running really well actually. This will get a final test drive in the morning. Once that's done, it'll go back to the customer. Or maybe get Gary to take it home tomorrow night. I think he's already got a car going home tonight for extended test drive. So maybe he's running around that for a couple of days, just bed it in, make sure it's perfect. I'll do 1,000 mile, we'll drop the oil, service the engine again, just double check if any sort of leaks or anything need nipping up, and then that's good to go. This Touareg here is in for a gearbox. So I mentioned this, it was outside. It's obviously eventually, it was booked in, but only provisionally. Then the gearbox didn't turn up last week. So now the box is here, and I didn't want to take it out without the new gearbox being here. So that one is good to go. So then we've got the Range Rover that's just in for the night. We went to the warranty company for that one. That's the one for the off yesterday with the knock sensor. And this is the little, this is a Nissan Juke petrol. This is in for a timing chain. Here's obviously one I prepared earlier. So there's your timing marks there. Those colour links go onto the camshaft, and that one there onto the crankshaft. But that there is, it was phenomenally stretched. So new time, there's actually two of them timing chains, one for the oil pump. That's all done now. It's going to be in for MOT in the morning. This one is going to feel unfortunately on, if you can see that there, the wheel's actually moving back a lot. So when it did go for a test drive, obviously once chain was done, it was health check. You can see he was moving in there, so he said the car feels a bit flighty. I'll get MOT in the morning. We'll see what's going to fail on, and we'll go from there. But it's obviously had a full service, timing chain done, all new gasket seals, everything. So that end of it is perfect, because when we actually we started up and you could hear the noise. So if you start up now, hopefully it doesn't make a noise. So if you listen to that, perfect, exactly how it should be, nice and quiet. Obviously new chain, tensioners, all that sort of stuff. So that is ready for test in the morning. So this will be one of Josh's first tests in the morning. YY14, so this is the one for the rear diff seal. So we're going to replace the pinion seal and the new nut, and there's a little crush tube in there as well. While it's off, I'm going to pull the bearing out just to make sure that's alright, because you can buy a kit with the bearing or without, and we'll just see which one we're going to use. Don't look at this, there's nothing to do with us. This is a after work job. I've just said turn the camera away from that thing, you'll get allergic. Even the camera's got rotten at new. It's like walking past someone with a lurgy. This milk float, it isn't the same milk float, it's a different one. Well, I can see straight away that's going to be in for that tyre. Also needs a radiator. There's a bit of damage on the front bumper here. It's all caved in, and when I've put my hand down, all the inside, that's all loose. I can see straight away something's went through the middle of there, probably via that number plate, and it's put a hole in the radiator. It's just parted the fins a little bit, but it is run down the front. It's lost all its coolant and then overheated. Luckily, I think the motor's not took any hurt. We're just putting new rad on it, obviously refresh the coolant when we've done that. Gonna service definitely two front tyres, because that tyre looks pretty bad. Pretty bad, that tyre. Starting to just peel through to the, it's not quite in the cords yet, but it's pretty bad. So I've said it before, these are probably one of the most abused vehicles we look after. This transporter is in for a starter motor. That was for some reason that was a weird like 2D order or something. I've never heard of that, because normally transporters are fairly common. But we're going to replace that in the morning. And we've got this little TFSI which we spoke about. The last time we've done one of these for a fuel leak, it was in there, and it was the fuel rail was loose. Can't really see because I've got a torch, but basically that's the fuel rail down there. Do I have a torch? As usual, every torch in this garage is flat. That's the bane of my life. Anyway, fuel leak, looks like it's an injector. It's normally the fuel rail comes a bit slack, ends up cutting through the washer, damages that. That big Q7, that's one I think we spoke about that yesterday. This ramp looks weird because that's up while there's a car in, because the rams actually give in. There's a bit of oil on the floor there because the seals have gone in the ram, so we've ended up taking that ram out. It's gone to a friend of mine who actually builds rams for a living. He's going to I think he's going to build me a new ram. We'll get that back in. Same guy who did the rams on the back of the recovery truck. That S-Class, that's all done now. So basically what happened with that was the auxiliary belt tensioner had given. The belt had then just shredded into a million bits, got trapped everywhere. Luckily done no extra damage. We've cleaned all that up, took all the old bits of belt off here, the pulleys, new tensioner and belt. Car seems to be running perfect. That's the car that Gary's going to take home tonight. We've spoke to the customer, let him know it needs a bit of a test drive just to make sure there's nothing else wrong. When Gary comes back in the morning, he'll head onto a lift, get checked over, make sure there's nothing else untoward wrong, and that car can go straight back to the customer. We have got ambulance over there, St John's, so that is in for a DPF clean. It's come up with a dash DPF clean in progress, but unfortunately it's just been there for a while and just keep on going back to a regen. It won't complete. DPFs have a shelf life, they'll only do so many miles, and that ambulance has probably done 300,000 miles, so that's probably the end of its life. I know that's definitely had an engine. We put an engine in that ambulance, and I think we've also put a gearbox in. They're not abused, I would say, but they're heavily used, the same as the milk floats. I think if the blue lights are on, that milk float will pass it though, every time. We've got the focusing, I think, a rear O2 sensor. We spoke about them yesterday, so the timing belt is snapped on the RAC van. That's probably going to go to auction. I don't think they'll replace that. We've got the a nice noise over there, Ed. Yeah. Something V8. I put that fence up, I'll be to see what it was. Little Sirocco. I believe that was in for a service today. I was out on a recovery, so I did miss a couple of jobs going in and out. But that was in for a service, I think. That's all done, ready to collect. Them two over there. So it's all Reynolds, day-to-day, Reynolds. So that SY55 Mo, believe it or not, he's a gardener. That was in for a fuel filter. Hopefully that's fixed. That would be a nice, easy fix if it was. But I think that guy thought it was going to be something major. Talking of major, this will be major. So just picked us up from another garage. They don't want to take it on just because some garages don't like to do heavy jobs, taking engines out and things, and obviously we seem to do them all day long. So this needs an engine, and they also said the clutch was possibly slipping, so it's going to be engine, clutch, blah blah blah. But to be fair, it's a 65 plate van. In my eyes, it wouldn't be worth doing. We'll probably advise the customer to sell the vehicle, spares and repairs, and buy a new van, because on a 65 plate, I don't think so, I may be wrong, I don't think on a 65 plate these are Euro 6. So at the minute, Euro 5 vans don't seem to be worth anything. Euro 6 vans are obviously what everybody wants now, because if we go to Newcastle, then we need to have a Euro 6 van. We've literally just found out about that. We haven't just found out about that. We do pay when we go in, but then we actually forgot to pay, or well, Ed forgot to pay, who's behind the camera. And I tell you what's unbelievable. So Ed was there, it's just before 12 o'clock and just after 12 o'clock at night. But, so he was only in Newcastle for maybe an hour in total, but obviously they've charged him for one day and the next day. Because we just completely forgot, obviously it was the middle of the night, you forget what you're doing, and we've got different trucks and vans in out everywhere. Forgot that one anyway, it's by the by, and it's going to end up costing about 250 quid for an hour. We could have probably had a helicopter take us into the town, you know what I mean, but fuck it, if Boris or whoever's in fucking charge wants his money, he can have it. And if I want to take the truck in, so it's only £12.50 for a van, if it's Euro 5 or below or whatever. So if Euro 6 is free, £12.50, or they'll shaft you for something like 150 quid if you forget. So if you're like old and dementia like us, you will forget, they just shaft you for 150 quid. But the truck, even if I do pay on the day, it's still 50 quid. So I'd hate to see what happens if I forgot to pay the truck. I think I need a mortgage just to get the truck into the tune. This one here, this is being dropped off by Car Autos. My mate Si anyway, he's dropped it off he's done a little bit of work, but he just wants to get an MOT'd, so a Class 7 test. He just wants to get an MOT before he goes any further, just so he knows basically what to order from Nissan, because these are an absolute nightmare to get bits for, and they're all round bad truck them. I hate them, they just drive horrible. Feels like you're literally driving on top of the steering wheel. They're horrible. Some people use them as recovery trucks, honestly. I wouldn't want to go to the shop with it. So that's all we've got for today. I can't wait to see it tomorrow. Hopefully we'll try and get something done during the day so it's not dark and 7:15. Hopefully it'll be daylight and try and get something at lunchtime. So Ed, push me to get it done. Cheers. See you later. Right, welcome to Thursday. Ed never actually come and got me during the day today, so it's now once again where are we at? 7 o'clock in the PM. There is 2 7s in a day if you're at work, by the way. That has moved, that old piece of scrap, but it's back in. Let's have a quick look at this. We're just coming over for a quick inspection, Andy.
Knock yourself out, mate.
Just for a quick laugh, you know. So normally there's actually a bit of sill there, but unfortunately you can put your hand in it. So I tell you it is, well, it's bad, but it's not as bad as I thought.
No, it's all cut out.
At least there's something to weld to.
Everything's pretty straight, to be fair.
Aye. Apart from the kid who owns it, like. But anyway, that's getting horrendous amounts of welding, and luckily that's Andy's friend, so nothing to do with me. You hear that, folks? Nothing to do with me. This one here is the milk float that was getting the radiator. So we've got the radiator, but then we'll put that back on. I think we've decided that we're going to change this bumper because it looks bad. But if you have a quick peep in there, Ed, you'll see the new radiator is all Inski. I think we should get, we've got a new, well, it's not new, in fact, what I'm going to do is take that number plate off, just to remind them that we're going to make a new one. We'll get that off there? Yeah. So we've got a number plate, obviously, well, I think you know, we've got a number plate made machine, and we really shouldn't be letting the van go out with a flappy plate. That is that done. This is the Range Rover Sport. This is in for the rear diff seal, and we'll probably put a pinion bearing at the same time because it comes as a kit. This little 207 is in for a turbo. This been with us quite a while actually, like probably 2 weeks. Just trying to get it into the workload, but it is in for tomorrow. I think it's Ken's possibly first job. So everything that's in tonight is the first jobs for tomorrow. This is a Chevy something, some fucking thing, I don't know what this is. It's a V8 anyway, so it sounds good. The only problem with this car is it hasn't got enough pedals. It's actually automatic. I probably wouldn't have bought an automatic one, but the rest of it's mint. It looks like that thing off that Transformers program. So the guy whose that is, ironically, he owns a company called Express Cylinders. So literally anything to do with a hydraulic cylinder, he is definitely a man. And he's somehow amazingly made that cylinder from scratch. We'll give him the other day. He rang us and said, listen, the cylinder's absolutely scrap. Inside of it was just full of stuff that shouldn't be there. It was all rusty and marked and pitted. So he's actually bought that tube and bored it and does whatever he does, and used our original chrome bit in the end. So that literally just wants put in there in the morning, and that ramp is back in action. I was all ready to buy a new ramp, and once again Richie's pulled us out of shit and just made a new ramp. It's as easy as that. That Q7 is done. I just want to double check that is ready to go. Yes. What I'm going to do is get Gary to take us home tonight, make sure that is perfect. Disco Sport, that's pretty much ready to go now. And this is the 2 reg that's getting the gearbox. I've just noticed there that shocker's leaking as well. So you can see here, gearbox is out now. Obviously, gearbox normally goes into here. Be hard for Eddie B to see because it's pitch black up there. But this is the gearbox. There's the gearbox. There's your torque converter right there. It's had a very recent oil change because the oil looks pretty clean in there. But this, well, Andy said this is the worst gearbox job he's ever done, and he's done a shitload of gearboxes. So basically, even though the gearbox is at the back of the engine, you have to strip down loads of the front of the engine, so alternator, starter motor, loads of crap off, just to get the bolts to get to the back of here, which is your torque converter. So that torque converter goes into that big hole there. and obviously the fluid's in there, ends up sending drive towards the back, sends it out of there. So that's the output shaft on the gearbox, and somewhere around here, over there. So that's the transfer box. So that's the transfer box just there. So basically, if you look, obviously it's four-wheel drive this car. So you look in there, that shaft there mounts on the back of the gearbox, and then you've got a shaft here. So that goes to the back wheels, and that shaft there goes to the front wheels. That's how you get four-wheel drive. You learn something new every day. Let's have a quick look outside. So, like I say, Q7's going to go home with Gary hopefully tonight. This little Toyota, I think it's IQ, I think they call them. It's the same one as they made, I'm sure they made an Aston Martin version of this, which was super cool, but probably about 700 times the price. That was basically in another garage for a knock. They've replaced the wishbone and a couple other bits and bobs. The knock was still there, and actually it was just the nut on top of the shocker was slack. Quick health check. Car's actually pretty good. Tightened down the top of the shocker. Sorted that. Sarah's Porsche. This is the one that was in for the worn out camshaft. We've done a video on that. If you want to see that video, click somewhere and it'll take you back to that video. So we basically dropped the engine out of that. It's come in because it's on a track day. It was a little bit smoky, only on, I believe, hard left-hand corners. We fixed that. To be honest with you, I couldn't tell you how we fixed it because Anu's on it, so I speak to him and I'll try and put something in the comments to let you know what that was. But apparently it was a fairly common fault, even easy for me to say. That was, I think, a quick, easy one. Service MOT today. This was in for tyres. Yep, new tyres. We also done, I'll have to leave that at tyres. I honestly can't remember what I did with that. Oh, no, I didn't do anything today, but it got done anyway. That van's all done. 1 Series is customer saying not to go ahead with that. It does need quite a bit of work. But it is really beyond economical repair. That's Andy Pandy's car. He's parked that on site, obviously. RAC van, when I thought they were going to basically send that to an auction, they've now asked us to possibly go ahead, take the cylinder head off, and once you take the head off, see what damage it is. So by the time you've got the cylinder off, you may as well put it back together. So that van might be on the road again. I didn't think they would do that. I honestly believe that they would just send that straight to auction because it's a 68 plate van, which I know is a fairly new van. It's a DSG, but it has got a few mile on it, and the vans get absolutely hammered. And they normally change them out pretty regular, so unfortunately, that's another big job we've got. That's all we seem to get is big jobs. And the other thing, well, I think also there's that in the back of the ramp, that was still there from yesterday. That was a engine job. The only other thing to talk about is I've put the Disco 4 back away into storage, put the cover on it for a little bit, and I've brought the Magnum out. I never used it for so long, but I decided just to get it back out, and I want to use this for a couple of days. I'm sure the neighbours are going to be over the moon when I go home, obviously late as usual, and this will be in the street when they wake up. I thought, well, I didn't fall out of love with it, but I just stopped driving it. I just never got time. But then I do drive past it very regular, and I thought it's looking a bit sorry for itself, so I'll drive it tonight. I might give it a little wash in the morning. I'll probably drive that over the weekend, and that'll go back in. I just don't want it, if things don't get used to start seizing up and things like that, so I just try and get a little bit of use out if I can. We'll go and see Gary. Hello, Gary. What are you up to, guys? The trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
What a good day.
Yeah, we had a good day. Moved a lot of stuff up. Car park's empty, isn't it?
Very good car park.
Car park's empty.
Only thing to go tomorrow is the little Toyota and the Fiesta.
The Fiesta's going, picking
And
up
the
first
Peugeot.
and one Peugeot, yeah.
Good day today.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Very good, yeah.
They'll busy getting them all. Yeah, so good.
Very good. Still stuck in my throat.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
It doesn't. You know why? 7:07, that's fine.
7:07.
What was you here, Gary? We don't know no different. That's why.
It's just like the norm now, isn't it?
It is.
It's just like the norm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the escape.
It is.
It's an escape.
What's the address, Gary? Is that for the Range Rover?
Yes, that's the. Actually, should we show people what that is?
That's all.
So what, right?
You open it, Gary.
I'll open the box.
Open the
And
box.
then,
What's in the box?
That's in the box. And then you can see what the individual bits are. So
There's actually 2 kits in this
Yeah.
one box because a box got damaged, so there's 2 kits in there.
so that's the seal that normally goes.
So that is the offending item
Yeah.
right there. And how does that work, Gary? Aha!
And then that I'm not going to do because.
Go on, guys.
No.
Go on.
No. You don't put no, Marvin. You know better. You don't do that. No. So yeah. So you get in the kit that the new seal. Sometimes the bearing might collapse.
Yeah.
But we don't normally use that. What we do need is that tube there. It's very important that you replace that.
Yeah.
That one there. And then that's just the snap rings and whatever in there.
Yeah. For the prop.
It is, yeah. So it's quite a comprehensive kit.
It is. So basically that seal
Yeah.
is what is leaking. So obviously the oil level is probably halfway up the pinion normally. And what's happened is obviously the seal must get torn or whatever, worn out. The oil runs down here. It's ended up in the guy's driveway and he's well basically he's...
Or that bearing gets a bit in it, then it causes the
Oh yes, of course.
causes it to dip a little bit, and then,
Yeah.
then it just rubs on the seal, rubs the seal away. But no, I mean it's a big chunk of a bearing. That we didn't really replace a lot of them. It's normally just a little bit of wear on the seal. That.
Yeah, so that, I won't push it all the way on because like Gary says you shouldn't really. But that's basically how that sits. So the seal's on there, and when you look, that's a lovely smooth surface, so that's actually what runs on that seal.
Just the usual stuff on it, like I mean a little bit corrosion or a little bit pitting on that causes the seal to...
Yeah, just tear it straight away.
Yeah, just rips it.
That's a lovely surface there, so hopefully that'll be the last time that gets changed for the customer. And there's a special tool to take that off as well.
Yeah, so that'll get done tomorrow. That's for the white one, which I think is in there now.
YY14 is on 0 RAM.
Yeah,
What else have we got in tomorrow, Gary?
There's a tour rack to finish
back
up,
of that.
There's a lot of work left to do on that. The white one should hopefully have the injectors. I'll pick the injectors up first thing in the morning for David Parks.
Yeah.
And then that needs injectors in, and that hopefully we'll do our best to get that gentleman back on the road for the weekend.
Are you going to drive the Q78?
Yeah, he can do. Yeah. Is that back together? Is it?
Done.
Yeah, we'll make sure that's all right. And
Once that's done,
another
go
one to
back.
get rid of. That's another good one to get rid of because that's been here for a while.
Yeah.
So
That's good. It's getting a
It
good...
just seems like this week a lot of stuff's like
Got out.
yeah, just like getting finalised, which you just feel like a treading water sometimes. But yeah.
No, because sometimes we come. There's nothing worse than coming in the car park in the morning and it's already 30 cars deep.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd definitely be complaining if it was quiet.
Of course. Yeah. Kind of always, but
Yeah.
just sometimes I mean it's nice. It's nice just to get the things.
Fresh
'cause
start,
you
isn't
look
it?
and you think, great, you just think
Still that car.
loads
Still
of
that.
people have gone through it. You just get that bit there, and you just can't quite get over the finish line. But a lot of stuff's gone. Yeah. And the holding like units, the whole units they're
Yeah.
getting emptier as well. So
Which is good.
which is
Means I
good.
can buy some more scrap. I want to actually have a ban, like Alcoholics Anonymous. I need an EB Anonymous.
Sure, EB Anonymous. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Marvin, I'm a fucking idiot. I keep buying scrap.
My name's Marvin, I just buy shite.
I can't help it.
Okay.
As soon as someone, I think he's selling something, you know. What?
I'm a buying shite addict.
I know about you, Alex.
It is, yeah.
Literally, anybody walks through that door and says, tell you what it is, I think someone's got something for sale. Well, you got his number.
No.
Don't ring him.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad he didn't get the smoke to drop the injectors off. There was an old Bentley in the car park that would have come back on the.
That would be on the truck, that.
Would have been on the truck on the way back.
And then it would be on top of that container.
Yeah.
Like the little, I don't know what it is, a Fiat.
It's a Fiat, isn't it? The Vela.
Well,
Yeah.
how long you got left, guys?
10 minutes. I'm just gonna book all these and then I'm done. Yeah. So that's for the night.
Well, I want to spend 10 minutes wrapping this microphone out my fucking jacket. And then that's us for tonight.
So how do you make holding a camera look so cool?
That's cool 365, but
Isn't he?
every day I'm hustling.
There's a bit of jealousy going on here.
It doesn't matter what day it is.
Yeah.
It just looks cool.
Yeah.
It's just,
That's it.
you've been practicing a long time. You know, he's 67-year-old now.
Few grey
You're
ones
nearly
coming
as
in.
old as Jim.
What did they want?
No.
It's prehistoric, that.
Yeah,
That's how it is. A few grey ones coming in the new head. Just got to get a bit of culture about you.
A little
Whiskers there.
Yeah,
whisker.
it's a new style.
Yeah.
Are you trying to go for Gary's look?
No, that.
That fool grey?
No. You'll never become that accomplished.
Ah, grey fooler.
Yeah.
Right. It's getting out of hand, this. It's crazy.
I'm just tired. So,
Ed?
yeah.
Good.
Good
Right.
night.
See you tomorrow. Good night. Cheers. Right, good morning everybody. It is 20 to 8, so fairly late start this morning. It takes slightly longer to get to work at the Renal Magnum today, just because you can't exactly nip in and out of traffic. But we've just pulled on the valley on the new slip road. Hopefully about 8:30, 8:45, Gary will be back from picking the injectors up from the test centre for the Disco Sport. So one of them, excuse me, one of them passed for flying colours, two of them said were very borderline, one of them was stuck open, so that's maybe where the damage came for the engine. So when he's back with them, we'll then find out when we can get some new injectors. I think we've probably got 2 in stock, because it's fairly common. Get those fitted in, get that back to the customer. Also, once we get the starter motor for the 2 rig, and you'll jump straight onto put the gearbox back in. He just wants to start the motor mounted really before he does anything else, because you've got to get your hands more inside the gearbox. Bit of a nightmare job that. I wouldn't be upset if I never got another 2 rig gearbox to do. But it's just somebody I know, so you feel obliged, don't you? So what's warming here? I'm trying to think what else can happen this morning. Probably the best thing on a Friday, it's Fish and Chip Friday. The whole garage revolves around what meals is going on, and food time, and in the zoo. But what I'll do is I'll try, like I said yesterday, keep you updated during the day, see what's going on today, because there's nobody working Saturday or Sunday, I believe. Just need a weekend off, just to recharge the batteries. You only do so many weeks in 100 hours, and then you just need a little weekend off, I think. I'm saying I won't be at work. I guarantee I'll definitely be in the middle. What I'll be doing, I'm not sure. No physical work, I think it'll just be paperwork if I need to do something. But I'm literally just pulling it onto the back road of the valley there where we are based. So just past the McDonald's, another food-based thing. But I'm not going to get this Magnum from the drive-through, so I'll have to give it a miss. Hopefully when I get to work, the car park isn't already crazy. But it is getting off at 7:45, so a lot of customers start landing between, and we don't officially open till 8, but a lot of customers start landing between 7:30 and leave the keys in the post box. Well, there's absolutely nowhere for me to park. That's a good sign. So it's not even open yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 cars, 18 cars there. But we'll be alright. Hopefully I'll see you this afternoon. Thanks. Right, welcome to a Friday evening, and it's evening because it's so busy we haven't had 2 seconds. What have you just done there? Right on cue. Right on cue, drop them, why don't you? So, see that there, what he's got? Look over there, Ed. See that? this magician here is going to make that look like a sill. Oh, shit, you don't want to go where a big Rolf is. Danger! Stranger danger! Right, so, Andy's going to make that piece of tin look like a sill on that piece of scrap. This trans has been dropped off for an MOT for Monday, but unfortunately that's going to need more metal than that thing over there, I think. Because any trans that's on a 2010, honestly, it'd be like an old tea bag.
We'd never get stuff like that.
We never, I know, we never get scrapped and then there's two land. R-Reg, I didn't even think R-Reg even existed anymore. It was all donated to Beamish. This Parker van is in for MOT today, failed on a couple of lights on the dash. Handbrake didn't work on one side, and a couple other bits and bobs. No too major, to be honest with you. So that hopefully will get done Monday morning. This is a different milk float. This is in for a problem with the power steering. I could just hear it when it came in. Sounds like either the fluid's low, so it must have a leak. It's got to go somewhere, obviously. This Fiesta, this was also in for MOT today, another failure. I think we've done 15 maybe tests today. This one failed on the exhaust system and a track rod end, and it also is due a timing belt and a service, so that'll get that done Monday. This little 1 series, this is the one that was outside the other day with the missing kidney. This is going to get the repairs. So this is front pads and disc, exhaust flexi, bonnet catch, that's why that's being taken out to get into there. And also, I think there's a pressure sensor on the brake servo. Oh, excuse me. This got changed today as well. This is the door off Jim's Passat, the dual media Passat. Get up there. So you can see Jimbo's quality driving here. He's drove into the post. That's been at his house probably for about 10 years, but he still managed to hit it on the way out. So that is, that's changed. That's for the scrap. The Disco Sport that was on this ramp, that is all gone. That'll have to come back within 1,000 miles. We'll do an oil change, make sure that's got any leaks or anything like that. Good to go. This is the Sport that was in for the rear diff. So this is the job we've done. So I don't know if you'd be able to see up there, to be honest with you, but obviously that's the brand new nut that we showed you. It's absolutely pitch black under here. That's how the new nut put on the seal. I think we changed the bearing while we're in there. Obviously all new diff oil and everything. That is pretty much good to go. I think that was just left there because it's in for the weekend. That old engine there, that Ingenium, that needs to go in that crate because there's a £1,500 surcharge on that engine and we didn't want to pay that. What else have we had done? That Touareg, this is the one that was getting the gearbox. There's the guy's old gearbox there. That's scrap, that can go in the bin. New one's in, obviously new oil filter, that sort of thing, and we replaced the rear crankshaft. I'll see why we're in there because I had a little tiny weep. There's a couple of little jobs need doing this, maybe in the next few months. Tiny weep in a rear shocker, but as you can see, tow bar. I think it gets used quite often on a tow bar, towing a trailer even. So that needs doing, and we'll get that shocker in later on. I don't know if there's any. Let's have a look what's outside. Hopefully not a lot. Bit dark out here, Ed, and it's damp. But the car park's looking good. That's not state night, that's big size van. He's just popped in for 10 minutes. Magnum in the corner. That one, Henry Colbeck van's done. This was for Bell Truck and Van down the road. That's all done. There's nothing really over there. Another unbelievable wide, another Transit in on a 56. Unbelievable. We never, honestly, truthfully, we very, very, very rarely get anything as old as that in, and then we've had about 3 or 4 in a week. This little 206, can you see anything here, Ed?
A bit dark, but I'm gonna...
It's pitch black. I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, if you can see there, I'm pointing towards the 207. That's our turbo, all done, good to go. That camper van there, that's good to go. There's a Evoque there, that's good to go. Guy's going to collect that in the morning. We're not open in the morning, but he's going to give me a call on my mobile, and we're going to just call down and give him the key. RAC van, like I said, they've given us the go-ahead to rip off the cylinder head, find out what's happened or what damage is done while the belt snapped. And then let's go and capture. Oh, Gary's just gone on the phone. I'm sure you've just seen that camera run towards him. Right, we'll leave it there because Gary's just bottled it. Right, thanks very much for watching. Remember that we are now on, I think by the time this comes out, we'll probably have 20,000 subscribers. So thank you very much to every one of you of the 20,000. And also, we're only 5,000 away from giving away that Land Rover. So I'll definitely have to pull my finger out over the next couple of weekends, get that in here, get it prepped, ready to give away, because I can't give it away in the state it's in, because you won't make it home. Remember, like, share, subscribe, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and whatever you're doing must be working for us, because every day we're getting more subscribers like yourself. So anything you want to see, remember, just stick it in the comments below. Apart from that, thanks for watching, and me, Ed, and everybody else here, I'll see you next week. Cheers, good night.
Cars fixed, cars left, car right, get it right. Car fixed, cars left, car right, get it right. Cars fixed, cars left, cars right, get it right. Cars fixed, cars left, cars right, get it right.
It's another day, yeah, on fixed, card in. I don't roll around on 06. I like to keep it up with the fifth. I'm in my new car fixed. I know garage not from mine. My family goes there all the time. Sometimes get discount if